Getting started with investing. As a person who's gotten really into personal finance over the last 10 years and has a lot of friends who are not, it's one thing that drives me crazy when you hear people, because everybody talks about money. I know you and your family and your friends, you guys talk about money. I know a lot of people talk about one percenters. I know a lot of people talk about what we should do with this and what we should do with that and how we're ripped off here or how we're ripped off there. And I think the problem really is that it shouldn't be as bad as it is and it shouldn't be as hard as it is, because ultimately this whole thing with money is just a game. Now, it's a game that can be violent, it can be unscrupulous, can be detrimental, and it's mainly because it's a game that determines your quality of life, which kind of sucks, but ultimately it is a game. It is not a force of nature. It is just a game that we humans invented in order to keep our society and humanity to progress. That's really the basis of it all. We can get philosophical into it, but we're not going to do that now because this is a personal finance channel, and the whole point of this channel is to help you learn how to play this game a little bit better. What's going on, guys? This is Wrestling with Finance, the YouTube channel for people who have wrestled with finance in the past and want to do better in the future. Now, in order to start on that journey, it would be really helpful if you guys took your fingers and just hit that little like button, make sure it turns blue. The more times that turns blue, the more people like yourself who are out here looking for the things that you're looking for on YouTube can find videos like this, and it will help them because YouTube will point them in this direction. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the video. So one of the things I started learning when I was older, and I started late in life, when I was in my 20s, I would get money and spend it. And when I was older, I started learning about adulting, as we call it now. I just grew up. We already had a term for it. And started going, hey, I want to do some of this stuff that these adults do. How do these people have all this money? How can somebody get a $50,000 renovation on a house and get a loan and all this stuff? I didn't know because everything I did was in cash. And you probably have friends like that too. Now, some of you may have evolved from that point, but there's another point just slightly above that most people are at, but is still not playing the game the right way. That point is you get a job and you get a paycheck and you're like, I've made it, and now everything's good and I don't have to go any further with this game. Well, that's actually kind of wrong. Actually, it's very wrong. When you get a job, you get a paycheck, but that is not going to get you to be wealthy, and especially in this day and age. Now, a couple of generations ago, you could do that and have a pension and have a retirement, and then as time went on, when you got into your 50s and 60s, you could retire and live your last 10 or 15 years pretty well off. But as time has gone on, people are getting older, jobs aren't paying as much, we don't have pensions, Gen X and further on down the road, a lot of us aren't saving any money, so that whole idea is kind of gone by the wayside, and especially considering the fact now that a lot of people are very angry that there are some people who have a lot of money and then there's others of us that don't, and that doesn't mean that you're a millionaire, that just means you have enough money to take care of yourself. People like that, most of them are people that know how to manage their money, again, playing this game the right way. They've not only learned the rules of the game, but they've learned some of the intricate cheat codes sometimes, which is a problem. And that's really all it is. It's essentially math. And they learn how to do the math thing and like, okay, so I have only but so much time and I get paid so much money for the amount of time that I have, but I can do these other things that can scale and aren't dependent upon time. They're dependent upon value. And this is something that a lot of people get confused about. And a lot of people still think that, hey, I work and we're putting those hours at this job and I should have as much money as Jeff Bezos. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Money is not based, how much money you get paid, how much money you earn, how much money you can draw in is whether you're Jeff Bezos or you're in the criminal underworld as a drug dealer. It's true because they get money too. But how much money you get is not really determined on how long you work or how hard you work or how many hours you put in or blah, 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 or whether or not you feel like you deserve it and other people don't deserve it or whatever it is. There's really two things that money is determined by: being smart and providing value. If you're providing value for people, then people will pay you for that service or whatever it is that you're providing that they find value in. And the more people who find value in something that you are providing, the more money you're going to get. So if you're good at making glasses, or if you're good at doing whatever, the more people that can benefit from the thing that you do, the more money that you're going to get. And the more exclusive the thing is that you do, the more money you're going to get. So like everybody can't be a brain surgeon, but that's why brain surgeons get paid a lot of money, because it's something very valuable and it's valuable to everybody. Surgeons, doctors, all of those people, lawyers, same thing. Those are very valuable services that provide value for a lot of people, and not everybody can do it. So that's why they get more money than other people. The other way that you get a lot of money is by being smart. And it doesn't require you to have, again, we're not talking about you have to be a millionaire or billionaire. We're just talking about you make enough money that you can comfortably live your life. And a lot of that is done from a lot of other people through investing. Investing is probably how about 75% of the people in this country are probably should be using to make money, and probably the best path for them to actually make more money than they're making now. So if you have somebody that you know that argues with this, or if you're a person who goes, this deal cash, I don't do all that stuff. Anytime somebody says, I'm not going to do all that stuff, you've already lost the game. But anyway, take these two examples. You get a job and you get paid. So your job basically gets you, this is money. So you get money and you go, okay, I got to pay my bills. Now in the past, I would do this when I was a lot younger. I'd pay my bills and then take the rest of this money and then go buy a bunch of stuff that I probably really didn't need, or go make it rain. I made it rain at the bar because there's, some redhead that I liked at the bar, whatever. But that money was gone. All right, and the next paycheck comes in, and then I also, I got the paycheck again, and I got my money, and then I got to pay my bills, and then that redhead's still there, so I'm going to make it rain again. All of that money is gone, and you keep doing that, all of that money is gone. But later on, I did kind of come around and realize that, okay, well, wait a minute, if I don't take all of this extra money, if I put some of this, and I go take this and put it over here, then I'll invest it. And as time went on, then I started seeing that money kind of grew. Not only did that money grow, but as time went on, it was worth a little bit more. And then the banks paid me for having the money in there because I got compound interest on it. And then I had some dividends, and then the dividends started paying me that money. And then I did this very smart thing. I invested in a 401k with matching from my employer. So then every time I put $100 in, then my employer put $100 in. And after a while, you start noticing that this starts becoming a little bit more. And the more of this you get, and the longer it goes on, then you start getting a little bit more and a little bit more. The person who didn't do that, by the way, is still doing this, pay my bills, spend it on shoes. Pay my bills, paycheck, pay my bills, spend it on cable, paycheck, pay my bills, go buy a cell phone I really don't. All of this money and this other pile over here of all spent money, that's gone, and it ain't never coming back. Meanwhile, the other person who did put some of that money over here into their investments, whatever the investments are, whether they're real estate, stocks, 401ks, Roth IRAs, whatever it is, high interest savings account, they're going to have this, and it's going to continue to grow. And the idea is that it continues to grow and grow and grow and grow until eventually you have enough of this that these bills over here that you have, you can go, okay, I'm cool, I can pay it and I still got money. And that's the way this money game is actually played. That's the way it's supposed to go. And again, most of us don't learn it because we don't learn it in school. Our parents didn't know it. They didn't teach their kids. We're not teaching our kids. And it just becomes a generational thing. I mean, think about it as something else that's very common to all of us, like the internet. Imagine like this. Imagine if only 10% of the population knew how to use the internet and pass it on to their kids and pass it on to your kids and pass it on to their kids. You'd have this whole group of people who had access to all of this information, the entire world's information, but most other people who never bothered to learn it, didn't want to learn it, didn't get involved with it, would have no access to any of that information. In fact, that's somewhat true. But just imagine again, if most people did not understand how to use the internet, or most people didn't understand how to read, which was a problem in the past, and what kind of issue that was. There was only this 10% of people who knew how to read, and 90% of the other people didn't know how to read. Well, guess what? That 90% of the people missed out on all of this stuff that the 10% of the people had. The same thing with money. There's 10% of the people who know actually how to play this game, and most everybody else does not know, has not been taught, and what's even worse, are kind of scared off, or maybe even just lazy, or just terrified of even getting involved with learning the game. Now, say if you're one of those kind of people and you're very terrified about this money game because it's very confusing, even this little simple example I gave you with throwing $100 bills around, maybe that scared you a little bit, but there is a solution for you if you don't want to be somebody who's looking at stocks every single day, or going out and investing in real estate because maybe you don't have the money to do it. And again, goes back to being smart when playing this game if you don't have enough value to provide to a lot of people. I would start again by just taking a small percentage of your income from whatever job, no matter if you have a job that pays you monthly, weekly, if you're working, side hustles, whatever you get every single week, take a percentage of that, however much you want, probably should be at least 8%, and put it into a Roth IRA or put it into a 401k or something like that. Especially if you're a person who works at a job whose company is going to match your 401k. If you are a person who's blessed with that, always have the match on your 401k. Because again, what that means is for every $100 you put in there, your employer is going to give you another $100. So it's almost like getting paid more from your employer. It actually is getting paid more from your employer. And then every time you do it, then they do it. Then you do it again, and then they do it again. And then on top of that, then depending on the investments that you have, then this money grows because of compound interest and maybe some dividends that are in there too. So then you got the bank throwing more money in there. And so then it piles and piles up. Again, this is the simplest way I can explain this to anybody. This is what happens when you do that. And if you invest your money, and if you don't, and you just go in and spend all that money, then this hand's empty. So hopefully that was a great way of me explaining that, a simple way of me explaining it, and that the fact that a lot of people who suck with money and are very indignant about it, it's just because they really don't know how to play the game and how important it is to know how to play the game. Again, same example I gave before. Most people didn't know how to read, and until more people knew how to read, they were locked out of a lot of stuff that the people who knew how to read and were literate and could read and write were capable of. Same thing with money. So don't be illiterate when it comes to finances. Same way you don't want to be illiterate when it comes to math and reading. By the way, let me put all this money away because all this $100 bills lying all over the place. Thank you guys again, as always, for watching this video. It definitely helps me out and helps out the YouTube channel and hopefully helps other people who need to hear this kind of a message. And I'm sure you guys know it, or maybe you yourself are somebody who's still sitting on the fence and you try to invest in Dogecoin or Robinhood and then it didn't work out too well, or maybe you made like $10 and it's still sitting on your phone and you haven't done anything else with it. If you're one of those people, yes, I would, and you still go, maybe I should do something else with this app that's on my phone. Yes, you definitely, absolutely should. So hopefully this will get you inspired to go on and do some more research and go in and try to go, hey, how can I really do this investing thing? Sounds a lot better to make more money than to not make more money. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Let your voices be heard in the comment box below. So if you want to get started on your investing journey and have some of the, actually you don't want to have this. None of this money is gaining any interest, so it needs to go back where it needs to go. But if you're a person who wants to get involved on your journey, these are fake $100 bills. If you want to get involved with your journey, then you should start going now in the description box below, and maybe you want to sign up to Webull. Webull will give you 2 free stocks, by the way. If you deposit up to one of these into your Webull account, you'll get 2 stocks that could be worth up to $1,850 by using that affiliate link down below. You can also get into cryptocurrency if you want to use that and get some high interest with BlockFi or Celsius, also by using the affiliate links down below. And there's some other free goodies down there as well for you. I like free stuff and I like sharing free stuff, so take advantage of free stuff. Until next time, I'll see you guys here for more videos here on Wrestling with Finance. Have a good day.